Shalom, Israel. What's up, YouTube? You know, 2020. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna react to the dark truth about the police state. Why do nations assemble and people plot vain things? Before we start this reaction video, let's go to Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to those who devise wickedness and work evil on their beds. When the morning dawns, they perform it because it's in the power of their hands. Yep. So let's get into this video. I haven't seen it yet. The person who cut it for me told me I'm gonna be surprised. So I gave it the name, so I'm gonna say we're gonna be surprised. Y'all check this out.
Of law enforcement leaders buying and illegally selling guns. A review of government audits and court records over the last 20 years uncovered instances in 23 states across the U.S. plus Puerto Rico and Washington, D.C. for a total of more than 50 cases. And people who were supposed to protect and serve were selling these high-powered guns and making a steep profit. Aaron.
Pause. Y'all hear this? They're supposed to be our local sheriff stations, military police, or shall we call it the police state. They're out here selling guns, pushing into the black community. But let's drop Proverbs chapter 10, verse 23 on it. Civil cop. Doing wickedness is like a sport to a fool. These some foolish officers. All they doing is divide and evil. They setting up an evil plan to tear our community down. Also, Exodus chapter 20, verse 15, you shall not steal. So these people up on the old stealing. But let's get back into this video. I ain't gonna hold y'all up. I know this is gonna get juicy. Let's get it.
Fauci, who led this reporting, is here with me in Studio 57. She's a producer for a CBS News Crime and Public Safety Unit. Aaron, this is so mind-boggling that these high-ranking officers are getting these guns and they're selling them to criminals. In essence, the law enforcement officers are criminals themselves.
Right. So the key is that these weapons are usually deemed too dangerous to be on the street. So they're using their access as law enforcement officials to gain access to things that otherwise wouldn't be on the market. They're saying we need this for our official duties to serve and protect, but actually they're secretly turning around and they're selling.
They're buying them because they're law enforcement officials, or they're requesting them. Tell me more.
It runs the gamut. So there were 50 cases all across the country, and there were different ways they got it. Sometimes they stole it out of the inventory. Sometimes they were their issued weapons by the department.
Pause. I mean to stop y'all, but just know this video came out the same day that CEO from the healthcare got killed. This video came out the same day. Y'all probably didn't see it because it got drowned out in the news. So let's get back to the video.
Most egregious cases, there were battlefield weapons, and that requires them to go to federal regulators, ask for special permission to gain access to them. And just to give you a sense of what kind of weapons these are, these could take out an armored tank. They could go through the building at the other side, hit a target 18 football fields away. They can take out a military helicopter. That's an example from a real case. We found an Iowa police chief in a 3-person police department. Town was the population of less than 800. And he had requested over the course of 4 years 90 machine guns to get access to. He'd gotten approval. It took until he requested a Gatling-style machine gun that spewed 6,000 rounds a minute for federal regulators to say there's something fishy going on and starting to look into it. He's now serving a 5-year prison sentence, but he's totally unremorseful about it. He just says it's a business. It's not illegal to sell things in this country, and he's appealing his sentence because he just doesn't think it's a crime.
Wow. Again, why do nations assemble and people plot vain things? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 12 through 18. Let's get it. A scoundrel, an evil man, lives by crooked speech. He winking his eyes, shuffling his feet, pointing his finger, duplicity in his heart. He plots evil all the time. He incites quarrels. Therefore, calamity will come upon him without warning. Suddenly, he will be broken beyond repair. 6 things Yah hates. 7 are abomination to him. A haughty bearing, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. And guess what? These officials don't shed innocent blood in the black community. Whatever place they were sending those machine guns, they definitely destroyed that community. But they only got 5 years for that. So basically, I'm exposing the news of the dark state. The dark police state. Y'all gotta hear this. This is stuff that got drowned out. This came out the same exact date as shooting. But let's get back to this video.
Oh, this is a lot to take in, Aaron. And when I'm looking through all of this material, I'm seeing here that your team also uncovered social media posts where the buyers are talking about how they got the officers to sell weapons. Tell me more about that.
So when you're talking about machine guns, you do have to go to the federal regulation because there's been an outright ban in the United States since 1986. No one can have access to them. The one exception is official government use. So they go to federal regulators, but all you need is a letter. It's functionally a permission slip. A police chief signs a letter saying, I need this for department use. So there's...
Yeah, it is. This how easy it is to get guns on the streets. They get people just to stamp off and sign off on something. They acting like they doing stings and everything. They selling switches. They were really putting the switches in the community. It's them. They put that kid out there. Just like the 3D guns. They selling them same guns right back to the streets. Like I say, you just got drowned it out the same day. But it killed that CEO. It's inside the reaction video, right in the side. You know what I'm saying? It showed on the screen. They drowned this out. That same ghost gun he killed with it, that's going to be back on the streets. Let's get back to this video.
Literally do-it-yourself videos on
These
social media explaining there's
anything
online web forums, and it just come down to relationships. There's some guys who said, I know a police chief, I know a sheriff, I know a SWAT guy. They just take turns signing these letters for me, and they make it like it's all for fun. Some of these guys just think it's fun to like literally mount it on an armored tank and just shoot it off into a field. And a lot of the guys are totally innocent, and that's what they do. But the problem is there are cases where they've ended up in the hands of criminals. So they've ended up with drug traffickers, they've ended up with arms dealers. There was a case where a police chief, a mayor, and a town, it was a member of the town council, were trafficking guns and tactical gear to a Mexican cartel. There was a case just last year where they all ended up pleading guilty. It was 2 police chiefs, a sheriff,
it is. Types of weapons illegally sold by law enforcement officers. Military-grade machine guns, short-barreled rifles, explosives, such as grenades. Yeah. It's a hot topic. Y'all slipped on this, for real. These the same guns that they giving to y'all children. They giving to people in the community. And here the news say they funding the cartel. Wow. That's Chapter 28, verse 5. Evil men cannot discern judgment, but those who seek after Yah discern all things. Let's get back to this video. We gotta discern all things. Y'all see this? These are evil ass men.
A Delta Force veteran, all conspiring together with a sanctioned Russian arms dealer, and they ended up in the hands of an international gun trafficker. Again, all of that ended up pleading guilty, so we know for sure that they were doing that. And then there was a case in the Northeast where it ended up being used in a fatal gang shooting of a 14-year-old boy who was just standing at a high school football game and accidentally got shot. So most of the cases don't end up in those egregious situations, but they certainly have and do, and these are law enforcement officials.
And arguably, that's the whole reason why they're supposed to have these
police state pushing all those
once they get out into the public, then they're uncontrolled, and then you don't know where they're going to go next. But I'm also seeing here that there's some former ATF agents that you spoke with that said that they were reluctant actually to charge these officers who sold the weapons. What's going on with that?
So we spoke to about a half a dozen agents who were the lead investigators on some of these cases, and the officers themselves were the ones the federal agents were the ones who were actually really frustrated with this. They wanted to bring these cases, but they each had an anecdote about how they'd had to go to the department.
Wait. So basically, she's saying that when they get caught up, they really don't want to prosecute them. That's what she's saying. So all of them in cahoots. Let's get back to Proverbs chapter 6, verse 12. A scoundrel, an evil man, lives by crooked speech, winking his eyes, shuffling his feet, pointing his fingers, duplicity in his heart. He plots evil all the time. He incites quarrels. Therefore, calamity will come upon him without warning. Suddenly, he will be broken beyond repair. Man, listen. Y'all gonna punish these people, man. They might look like they're getting off right now. May look like their punishment ain't touching them right now. They get all of them getting little slaps on the wrist on all their cases. Like I say, the judge. The sheriff got 5 years. He pushing machine guns. That's all. But let's get to Proverbs chapter 28, verse 10. He who misleads the upright into an evil course will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will prosper. So everybody in that police station and all those places, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot of evil people. But it's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that ain't doing that. That's around. They better do their thing, because at the end of the day, these weapons of destruction that destroying Israel, destroying the communities of the foreigner too. But hey, that's the stuff that the dark police state do. They love pushing that type of stuff. But let's get back to this video. I apologize, you know what I'm saying, for talking too much, y'all.
They had caught doing this, who had been doing it repeatedly, almost like as a course of business, that they were getting these guns just for the express purpose of selling them, even though they were supposed to be their department weapons. And they just had to say, I'm letting you off with a warning. Prosecutors are generally reluctant to try these cases, according to them.
So it's the prosecutors, not the ATF.
It's a little bit of both. So they say the prosecutors don't really want to do it because the sentences are very light.
No,
most of these cases, people make plea deals.
They put that type of stuff on
just a few months in jail. But we got an ATF memo from a few years.
Pause. If a person with felony convictions right now had their hand on that right there, had their hand on that right now, any one time or two time a convicted felon right now had their hand on that right now, and call themselves selling that, and they end up selling that right now to the feds, they're getting life. They not even gonna hesitate. They're getting people life. If you're a career criminal, you get caught with that, that's life. But they getting the sheriffs, Fed agents, retired army, military, people who getting caught selling these things, you know what I'm saying, the drug traffickers, our communities, you know what I'm saying, terrorist groups. Man, the police state, but they wicked.
Years ago that described this as a growing trend. That was in 2017, and most of the cases we found actually have happened since then. So
you can't even get caught selling weapons like that.
It's hard to tell if it's happening more often or they're actually.
Yeah, I'll tell out in the comments
a little bit
for this.
More now. But the memo
They
said
playing.
it's our job to
we get caught selling something like that. We get life.
Down the
15, 20 to 30.
Who had written that memo, and he said we generally take the posture we don't question our law enforcement partners. So our partners, we're just going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and it's really only in the very, very egregious cases that we actually pursue. So when they've gotten many, many warnings, when we've traced them directly to a crime, and that's when you start to see charges. So the more than 50 cases, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more out there that all these agents are saying, oh yeah, I said, how do I look that up in the court docket? You're not going to see anything.
Fascinating reporting. Erin Couchy, thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Man. Woo! Anyhow, we get to Proverbs chapter 28, verses 16 and 17. A prince who lacks understanding is very oppressive. He who spurns ill-gotten gains will live long. A man oppressed by blood guilt will flee to a pit. Let none give him support. Let none. Amen. Yeah, I don't support the police state, man. For real. Don't support that. Because these people, man, they ruining our communities. They're ruining everything around us. You expect that they'll get these type of guns on the streets, destroy them, whatnot, like they say they do. But they issue them out anyways, right back to the person who got the bag. So you telling me the person say right now, hey man, I need 5 machine guns. I got 100K for them. That sheriff is going to get that and get that bag. That's crazy though. But this Adoniyah 720 reacting to the dark truth about the police state and the news that was forgotten that didn't get seen because it came out the same day, but it shot that CO. But like, share, and subscribe. Shalom, Barakah family.